We're back. Okay. Hi everyone. Sorry about that. Please don't leave. We have we had 3 viewers. We had 3 people watching, and now we have 0. Okay. That's okay. Cool. They'll just refresh the page. It'll be fine. Anyway, back a bit. We were so they made the antidote, sold it. You've had some time to recover, about a week. So you have a week worth of recovery. I will bring up the rulebook to see how much that is. But basically, yeah, you've had a week to sleep it off. So Johann's probably pretty fine. Because I don't think you took that many injuries, did you?
Took 0 injuries.
Um,
I did not take a single one.
yeah. So you just had to sleep off the stimulus. That's what.
Because he's shooting at me.
Yeah. Well, you were the
Well,
one. Actually, you weren't
I
even
ha-
throwing fireballs. You just.
No,
I have better armor too. They hit me several times, but it just never penetrated my armor.
That's true. You do have the stuff. What's the technical
it was the
term?
tail. It threw them off. They didn't like it. Angers some people, just the sight of it.
Yeah. Well. And they weren't even like Inquisition. So wait a second. I didn't accidentally put the. Yes. Okay. Good. Hi. Wow. We have a lot of viewers. Welcome. Welcome everyone. Okay. So we have our intrepid heroes are on a ship. Uh, the ship is about to go into the warp. You have some cash from the selling the antidote. Not this notebook. The other notebook. Yes, you have some cash from selling the antidote. They agreed to help you. The planetary governor is still not back, but the sort of I don't know how to explain this. I need to get better at my yes. Okay, good.
So didn't was I able to loot some of those grenades
Yeah,
like I had
you can
asked last
absolutely
time?
have the grenades. You now
So
have
we will
grenades.
have the
I have
antidote and the grenades.
yes,
So
you have the and you did get vaxxed. They insisted that you get the shots too, just in case. So you now have vaccine immunity to this new disease that they invented in a lab somewhere. You are now immune. If it ever comes up again, it's good. Dr. Keynes knows, not Dr. Keynes knows what she's doing. She got dragged out of medical school for reasons that had nothing to do with her competence as a doctor, and as such, well, yes. Let me just
did she grow a tail?
No, her brother got arrested for treason. Um, yeah, he didn't do it, but okay. Yes. Oh, and then right and there, that's the behind the scenes stuff. You don't have to worry about that too much. You also have um, no, we gave him a name. Uh, Aya. He's a young man named Aya. Was from a um, actually pretty much a one step up from a feral world. Actually, got dragged into dragged up by the black ships. Just started out. He got his first assignment, some island on a planet called Rao. Never heard of it, and he spent his basically his entire career as an astropath working on this little island. And then everyone started getting sick. He did get sick once, got over it. The thing about this sickness is it wasn't designed to kill. I mean, it. There were layers to this. It was not necessarily designed to kill.
Don't tell us the layers. We don't know the layers. If you
Um,
tell us the layers, then we can't discover what the layers are.
that's fair. But you also know that the guy making it got shot. The one who was at least in charge of this branch of the operation just got shot. Because someone on the bridge crew of the other ship just got sick of the bullshit, and also the mercenaries were failing, and he figured there's no way this is going to end well anyway, and just blew the guy's head out with a bolter shell. Which is all well and good because he was an asshole and a terrorist, but does not bode well because he was the only one who knew where the other captain's daughter was stashed. She was um, taken as collateral. So this guy was working for Rogue Trader family, who is rivals to the Helmshell family. You have Captain Darren Helmshell. She's your lady captain. She's really good, and her player is always busy on weekends because I gave him that. That was a bad move. But she is around. In the meantime, um, uh, what was I gonna say? So you guys have
So how is that astropath doing? Because I almost killed him.
Yes.
Yeah, innocent guy. You just shot him.
Yeah.
I don't think he's so innocent.
He was.
He has a beady look in his eyes, and I'm pretty certain he may be a spy for those guys.
Yes, he was. Thanks to Fennec's quick thinking with that you basically clamped his ribs together and created a tourniquet to stop too much of the bleeding. Cutter Kurosawa was off because he himself was injured, so he wasn't done anything. But you kept him from dying until Nurse Joy came up, so he was like this close, which means it's taking. He's basically at 9 critical damage. Basically, is how bad he is. So he is. It is going to be recovery time. I think you shot him in the chest. So, actually, if we find the thing for it, we could tell you exactly how bad it gets. There probably is
It might have to be less than 9 because I think 9 is pretty fatal most of the time.
no, it's isn't 10 the fatal one? It's the 10th one.
Usually, actually, sometimes 8 is fatal, 9 is gruesome, and 10 is just all kinds of gore.
Yeah, it is one above. We will find the trait. Yes. MP. Okay, that's past that. So it's somewhere up here. It is in injury. Here we go. Damage type critical damage. There should be a yes. Critical effect body energy. You were using a bolt shell, right? Which is explosive damage.
Rending.
Rending. Okay, it is rending. I'm informed by my local rules expert that it is rending. So rending affects body. With a vile tearing noise, the skin on the target's chest comes away, revealing a red ruin of muscle. The target must make a challenging toughness test or die. He didn't make the test, but you saved him. If he passes, he permanently loses 1d10 from his toughness, takes a d10 level of fatigue, and now suffers blood loss. So yeah, he was at 8. Which means, he was at 8. He was dying. He was in a really bad place, but he is not quite dead yet. Thanks to you stopping the blood loss from getting worse, essentially. First aid didn't work so well, so he's still at 8, and Nurse Joy managed to stabilize him more, and he is... his whole chest is going to be a scar. Let's see. Doesn't say there's any... Oh, yeah, permanent D10 from his toughness. So we're going to roll that. Which D10 should I use? This one. This is a good one for blood loss, because it's red. I really need to get my dice cam started again for the... Okay. Ready?
Orange.
9. Okay, it's not red, but still, it's the closest I have to red right now. Out in my... I could find a closer to red one, but yes, 9. He loses 9 toughness. I will write this down. Yes. Permanently loses 9 toughness. He didn't have a lot to begin with. He's not at 0 yet, but let's just say he better hope he doesn't have to deal with poison anytime soon. Okay, 0 toughness character dies. Luckily, he has more than 9, so he's
if he was at 9, he'd been in a bad way to begin with, so...
That's true. He had 22, so he now has 13 toughness. Yes. I will stat him up properly, but he has 13 toughness now. Yes! Hello! Charlie, welcome. PM Charlie, good morning. We are running all this. We are just the astropath on this Imperial island thing. It was an algae farm on a agri-world that was used to feed the populace rather than the church. And the poor guy was shot in the chest by Johan Johansson, who thought he was an enemy astropath, and suffered badly. He was kept from dying by the quick thinking Finnick, performing emergency blood loss stopping surgery because he passed the Medicaid check. So, yes, this guy didn't die, but he is at 8 critical, and it's going to take a long time to recover. But, yes. So, he's recovering in medbay, doing the best he can. You guys are all settled up. Now, usually the captain will make this choice, but since captain can't make it, we are going to deputize it to you guys as players. So, you have two options. Both of which will involve going through the warp. So, or a third option. If you want to go to some random other planet, I am not necessarily opposed. But, essentially, the two main planets you're thinking of. There's a planet that you were kind of thinking of before. I actually got the astropathic message right as you were getting to Rao. It is a planet full of diamonds and a populace that kind of they were sent to settle right at like the 32nd millennium. Warp storm happened. And they were stuck outside of things. Kind of revolved. Still had the idea of the Emperor, who was too beautiful to be seen by naked eyes, and all the Titans who supported him, who were most likely Space Marines in their... But, there's legends that he might come back someday. So they kept the faith of the Emperor, which means they're not heretics and don't need to die. But they also had very little idea of that practicality and were not cut off from the Imperium. Now, Random Rogue Trader finds the record, says, let's look into this. Goes there. And throws a missionary there, and it's like, just takes a bunch of diamonds and leaves. But sends to all the siblings, who are also rogue traders, because there's a whole network of them. This is an interesting place. You might want to check it out. So you have that one. You have Volthea. Allegedly, from what you managed to gather from the mercenary, actually, that you've been interrogating. Oh, well. Do you want to interrogate him? You were going to interrogate him, right?
Me? We've got Inquisitors for that, don't we?
You don't have any Inquisitors on board. You could probably contact one and ask them to interrogate, but that would mean requiring pulling favors. And you don't want to owe the Inquisition favors. That is a recipe for complications. Yeah. You do have definitely people who know what they're doing who could probably question him on your behalf. You probably have some people.
I'm pretty certain this guy is related to Chaos. He seemed all Chaos worshipping about him, and I think that the Inquisition would love to interrogate him.
Okay.
And if not, I will guilt trip them into doing it, so that we can get a real Inquisitor in here and not be faking it. So I'll instead fake that we have a Chaos person.
Okay. You're going to have to send an astropathic message.
Me?
No, you're going to have to get one of the astropaths on board to do so.
Yeah. It's such a shame we don't have any.
I know, like, oh gosh, who should I ask? Well, probably not the guy with the hole in his chest. That would be a bad idea.
Yeah, he's not in any shape to really send messages.
He'd be like,
you do have... I will say which astropaths
and I hate you for shooting me in the chest.
Yes, you have a number of astropaths on board. In fact,
we're not even conscious yet.
Yeah, so that's true. You're in a bad way too. But there are other astropaths on board. I have a list of all of the people on the Expectus Primus. Well, not all of them. Not an exhaustive list of all of them, but a list of...
I mean, that'd be a few hundred, wouldn't it?
Closer to 100,000, like 20, 30,000.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, to run a ship this size, it's a small town, essentially. Okay, small town by New England definitions, not small town by, so like 20, 30,000. Actually, we have an exact list. Expectus Primus, here we go. We have an exact, the crew is,
And if you're going to be there next, was it Tuesday? Is that when you do your Warhammer 40K?
Yes.
If you're there for next Tuesday, Lee is going to be naming all 30,000.
26,000-ish.
26,000
I mean, I could
members
start.
of the crew.
Listen, if you're up for that, I can start it.
No, don't bring me into that.
I usually just like planets. But we could start naming crew members. We've been naming as they go. But you have the astropaths we know about are... Here we go.
Just name one that I'm going to use. I don't need all their names.
Okay. Which one are you going to
Johan, when I ask the person at the bridge that I contact to get my information from,
Odette,
when I contact Odette, I'm like, I need an astropath to contact an inquisitor, please. And if she starts naming off,
Johan.
What?
Why do we need an inquisitor?
To interrogate the prisoner.
I can interrogate the prisoner.
You're not an inquisitor.
No, I know how to do interrogations, though. I know how to do interrogations.
I mean, were you trained at an academy, or you just looked at some online courses and taught yourself how to? Because
I learned in the school.
We need professionals here. We're trying to get to the bottom of this mystery, and inquisitors lives are at stake here.
Inquisitors. I don't think there's an Inquisitor Academy. I think they just learn by apprenticeship. And also, they teach that at the commissariat school. And we don't want commissars on board either. That is not a suggestion to put commissars on board. We don't need the full force of the Inquisition just to question this guy. Get Finnick.
We don't need the full force. We just need one.
Okay, how is Finnick? He didn't get hurt too badly, right?
No, he got hurt really bad.
Okay, just wait for Finnick like a couple of weeks, and then soften him up. Leave him in the cell to soften up, to rot his head. Couple weeks. Then
you're gonna leave Finnick in a cell to soften him up? That doesn't make any sense. Why would you do that to him?
Because he's a prisoner.
He's a valued member of our crew.
Why would you turn him over to the Inquisition?
I'm not doing that to Finnick. I'm doing that to the prisoner.
Right, you put the prisoner in
confused. See, this is why you would not make a good Inquisitor.
No.
You are obviously confused about what's going on here.
You leave the prisoner in the cell to soften up a couple of weeks while Finnick heals, and then you get Finnick to do the brain peely thing and suck the information right out of his head. He can do that,
While he's healing, you're going to put Finnick in a cot,
no,
gas him for life next to this guy, and you're like,
and then have him do the brain peely thing after.
Your way sounds really complicated, as opposed to just getting a real person.
I get Farina to do the brain peely thing. I can get... No, not Farina. We need her to navigate. We could get... Jezebel to do the brain peely thing. I mean, she's dumb as shit, but she knows how to do brain peel. I will tell you that. She's not even dumb. She just does not notice any... She's frustrating. But she knows how to peel brains.
You're trying to get dumb people to...
All right, well,
to inquire.
She can pull the information out of her brain. Or get Kraga to do it. He's not even dumb. Get Kraga to do it. Get Kraga to peel the information right out of his brain.
I'm starting to see why, despite my lack of formal training, why I've ascended to the position that I'm at now.
Because you won't let
you guys are obviously
one of our guys
confused.
Just peel the information right out of his brain. You'd rather contact an Inquisitor, assume that they'll agree to take the case.
It's not just peeling the information out. You have to do something with the information. Right. And you have to peel the right information and know what you're looking for. Like I could say, I don't know. I don't want to know what the guy had for lunch.
We know exactly.
You can peel that from his head, right? But I don't need to know that.
We know exactly what information is. Where is this kidnapped child? Or
wait, how do you know this information? I haven't told anyone.
I've been talking.
Are you a spy?
No, I've been talking to Cutter. Anyway, you had 6 people on the ship with you. Anna told me. How about that?
Mm-hmm.
Anna told me. She tells me everything.
Likely excuse. I'm going to have the Inquisitors talk to you.
Johan, really?
Maybe.
Are you going to really be this difficult? I can't believe the captain let you on board. Okay.
I did not get the donuts that I wanted. Thank you very much. I'm not in a heavy mood.
Donuts? You're going to call an Inquisitor because you're pissed about donuts. Okay.
Well, they normally come from a planet that have donuts, and I would have him bring some with him, obviously.
Okay, assuming the Inquisitor had access to donuts, which we have access to donuts, all right? But that's not the point. Assuming the Inquisitor had access to donuts, And assuming... assuming Inquisitor had access to donuts. And assuming that they agreed to help us out, which they're under no obligation to do, and didn't arrest us for treason for, I don't know, having Finnick on board, because I know a lot of hardline Inquisitors who'd probably do that. Or...
They wouldn't take Finnick. They'd just take his tail. They could take
I
part of Finnick.
doubt that.
And to be honest, after the firefight, I didn't check, but with all the shots that he was taking, they might have shot his tail off already. Maybe he looks normal now.
Maybe. But that's... I mean, it's still the ears. But my point... All of this...
Didn't he get shot in the face?
Point on all of this is... Assuming the Inquisitor doesn't strip us bare and start killing off random crew members because of mutations, which aren't even all chaos, I think you're underestimating just how pissy Inquisitors get. So, you want to talk to an astropath, go ahead. I'm not calling up an astropath for you. You know what? Yeah, I refuse. Deal with that. She's not going to do it. What are you going to do?
Well, who says I'm going to do any inquiry at all then? If that's how you want to play it.
She just kind of sighs and says, okay, fine. So what are you going to do instead? If you're not going to...
We're just going to go to a planet full of diamonds.
All right.
Because, I mean, to be honest, I don't really care about this girl who was kidnapped.
Then why are you trying to get an Inquisitor to try to figure out where she is?
Because you suggested it. It wasn't my idea. I didn't care.
She just kind of looks you dead in the eyes.
And because as I said earlier, I wanted donuts. And when I saw the paths align like that, I was like,
Okay.
I'm on. I see an opportunity,
and
I'm going to try to take it.
All right, let me check something. She's one of my first ones, right?
By donuts, I mean non-green donuts. Thank you very much.
I'm checking some stats here. Stats, here we go. Janthine. Oh, dead. Here we go. Weapons, 41. She rolled a 40. She punches you in the face. You can dodge if you want.
I'll dodge.
Okay.
Okay.
Roll. You have dodge as a skill, so roll.
Okay.
Roll a d100.
Okay. I rolled a 46.
Okay, what's your agility score?
I am going to look that up.
It's Johan Johansson. Agility is 37.
Is this your interrogation technique to just strike your superior officers? That's...
Wait, plus 2. What did you roll? Plus 10.
Oh, I rolled a 46.
You have a plus 10. You have a plus 10. Okay. You just dodge out of the way.
And when he does it, he's gonna. It's not that he just made the rule. It's that he just barely let her miss. Like he was giving her the opportunity to make it look like she was going to, and at the last second, he's like, "Nope."
Okay. You know what Odette's gonna do?
What Odette's gonna do is she's gonna go join the prisoner in the brig. We're trying to strike an officer. Get down there.
I mean, she's actually at the same level as you.
I don't care.
Yeah, you guys you have the same status as being up there in the inner circle, and she's going
but
to.
I'm not the one who proposed. So you're gonna keep trying to punch me? Really?
She just kind of close, takes a deep breath, and then goes to the ship's intercom and says, "Jezebel, come up to the bridge, please."
Who's that?
Okay. Jezebel is going to come up to the bridge, and you will see.
I should know who Jezebel is.
You do know Jezebel. Okay, yes. She is a astropath. She's not dumb exactly. And that was it's more she does not notice anything. Her perception is 5 because of mutation. So she just does not notice anything. She's really bad at seeing things. She just does not process information well. You have to be very, you have to point everything out to her. She does not process information at all. She can see and hear just fine. It's just, she always, I think she has auditory processing disorder where she can hear fine, the words often don't quite make sense. You have to repeat things a lot. But when she actually understands and hears what you say, she can think fine about it. It's just a matter of getting her to figure it out. That is what mutation does to people. That's why you don't do chaos. Listen, that is part why we don't want an Inquisitor on board, because they're gonna take a look at her and realize that she definitely had some sort of weird mutation thing going on, which she did, to be fair. Yes. So, I think she has the power to do this. If not, Craiga does.
Johan's now reconsidering his life decisions. Like, what kind of rogue trader ship did I end up getting on? I guess beggars can't be choosers, but good lord. This is what they got for astropaths on this?
Yeah. Actually, to be fair, Finnick's the only one who can do mind probe. So
we have 30,000 people on the ship.
Yeah. 2 astropaths out of 30,000 is a really high ratio.
3. You have 3 astropaths out of 30,000.
That's an insanely high ratio.
Yeah, well, you gotta have multiple astropaths. This is... they picked up a few over the course of all the other ships that got destroyed. The Pecas, I think. Pecas, that was the ship that...
Well, to be fair, that number may seem high, but when one of them literally cannot pass along a message and they can't mind read, are they really an astropath?
I mean, any of them can pass on messages. Yeah, any of them can pass on messages. And Jezebel was a secondary. She got rescued as a refugee, so, you know. We have 1 who can mind probe and 2 who can pass on messages. That's pretty solid. Alright. And she kind of looks at Jezebel. Oh, right, you can't do the mind probe thing, can you? Do what? Wait, hang on. Can't mind probe. As in, peel information out of people's brains. That's Finnick's thing. I know that's Finnick's thing. Finnick is hurt. Finnick's what? Hurt. He got shot. Who shot Finnick? Kind of turns to you. Actually, a mercenary on a planet. And you can't. I can do other things. I know you can do other things. You know what? This is what you're going to do. I know what you can do. This is what you're going to do. You can come with me. And if you want to tell her to contact an Inquisitor, now is the chance to do it. But
I will instead ask her if she is able to make donuts.
Just about kind of tilts her head. I know someone who can.
Who
is on the ship.
What?
You said donuts, right? Donuts.
What can you do?
I can send messages. No, you can help with the interrogation. I know exactly what you can do. Wait, what? Who are we interrogate? Come with me. Come with me.
Yeah. Yes, please. And make sure you, do they have videotapes?
They have picture recorders, yeah.
Yeah, make sure you record this session because I can't wait to see how this goes.
All right. Okay, we got derailed. All right. Okay.
And Johan is desperately looking for whatever Thelak is drinking from that flask, hoping it's something stronger than orange juice because he is in desperate need of a strong drink right now.
Actually. Oh, that flask. Okay. Roll a Constitution saving throw. A toughness check, rather. Roll a toughness check.
Had me going for a second there.
Yeah.
Wait, who's rolling his toughness check?
Johan.
For what?
Drinking out of the flask.
No, I said I wish I had a flask. He doesn't have one.
Never mind. I thought you took a flask from something. No, that was a different flask.
I have one.
Yeah, but you're also in the med bay, sleeping off, being shot.
No, he's talking. He's talking in person.
Oh, I don't have mine next to me. I just have this one. But I'm actually out of booze, but that's a whole other question. Okay, so Celex has a flask. Phoenix does not. Gotcha. Okay.
Life is so unfair to his character.
Yeah. All right. So, what are you gonna do now, Odette? Are you gonna watch them do the interrogation?
Oh hell no.
Okay.
He would pull out his hair in frustration listening to that conversation go on.
You could also go get donuts if you wanted.
He's gonna go back to his room and do research on the planet that has diamonds on it because the idea of getting diamonds intrigues him.
So,
in his pockets.
Yes. So, from what you've gathered, this is what we have. Oh, I'll give you this information. Yeah, if you go and you look up, you keep playing out the message. From what, actually, it was Craigo who wrote this down because he was the one there to get it. He wrote down. What did he write down? His notes. Greg's notes. You have a rough placement of it. It is in the map. Let me bring up a map for you guys. In fact, I can just bring up a map for everyone. Nope. I need to go to this one. It is the... Apparently I don't have... Alright.
No matter, while the ship's logs are pulling up the information, he's going to go check. Johan decides instead to go check up on Phoenix to see how he's doing.
Okay. Yeah. Finnick had... How bad did Finnick get?
Okay, by the end of the fight, I'd stopped taking damage. I had 7 wounds remaining.
Oh, so you didn't even get down to critical.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, by the grace of the Emperor, right? Because you had a D10 of healing halfway through by using a fate point. So, by the grace of the Emperor, in a last-minute surge of his divine power, divine. I mean, don't let the Inquisition know you thought that. But, no, Johann is too stupid to be Eisenhorn. Okay.
What?
Yes. So, yeah, you're only lightly wounded. In fact, Odette might, if her plan with Farineth doesn't pan out, she might just come and get you to do a mind probe. But right now, yeah, you're up in the the hospital, the surgery of the ship. There's, a number of beds. You have a bed with a curtain around it. There's actually one of the bilge crews that actually gave birth three curtains over. But, so that's happening.
Hey, buddy, how you doing? You gonna pull through? You gonna live?
I think I'll be fine. I've been shot before.
Yeah, it's something you try to avoid if you can help it. Even if you can live through it, still no fun.
Yeah, can't always help it though.
Have you thought about maybe getting some armor like mine?
If I can afford it.
Shouldn't we be able to afford it? Lee?
Out of character. I don't believe I have any money, so
that's true. You could ask
we just made a bunch, and I'm able to reassign equipment, right?
Yes. You both you would get some funds from the Berg Trader, you don't it's not money, it's the ship's
it's an analog for money.
Yes. But the ship's which is the ship's the whole ship's rating, which is I actually wrote this down what the crew's profit factor is. So the profit factor is high enough you can just get the captain to buy you armor. In fact, what is the but you'd have to go to a planet that had it, I would say, to get it fitted properly.
We have one astropath who can actually do something. Keeping him alive is probably a good idea.
Yes.
And apparently that Kayla is just like a big hit me flag. Like, attack me as it waves back and forth when he gets excited during battle. And I think we need to get some armor for it.
Okay. I will say this. The next time you go to a planet that has reasonable access to interstellar trade, you can get armor. Which, from your were you going to do the research or no?
Well, the research is going on in the background while I'm talking to him.
That's fair.
It will be sent to my terminal.
Yeah, you get to Ninette to read over. Yeah, you tell Ninette, read over this and tell me what. Okay. You tell Ninette to go and find this information and send it to you. Because she would be on the bridge anyway, just hanging around. So you tell her to do that, I'm guessing. So, and Ninette comes back, actually, pokes her head in. I did find, kind of holds you out a data slate. This is the notes Kraga took.
Thank you. I'll take a look at it.
Okay, so yeah. That means you get to hear it too, because you happen to be in the room. That saves time. Okay, so. Notes. I have to go to the bottom of the planet list and tell you what you know of this planet, because... let's see. The planet, from what I could gather on this planet, it was settled back during the Horus Heresy, sometime after, long time ago. There's been warp storms, and it was sort of slipped through the cracks. The warp storms have been gone for quite a while, I would imagine, but you know how the Administratum is. Interestingly, there are a number of natural resources that are present here. The locals were originally supposed to be a mining colony. They did open some mines, but most have been shut down over the years. Quite possible to reopen them, I would imagine. I do not have the patience for this sort of thing. I did leave one of my missionaries, Orthon Card. Sensible fellow. Annoying though, so I found a place for him here. He is trying to convert the locals as best he can. They seem to have accepted that he is an emissary of the God Emperor, given our tech and the lack of tech here, so they'll figure something out. He's set up in a temporary capital called Kibblethot. It was a large city. We just picked it at random. That's what the locals call it. Thought spelled Thot. I think it was a joke on someone's fetish back when the planet was settled. I don't want to question it, though. Anyway. Found this. The locals seem amiable to mining. They've certainly dug up enough diamonds for whatever reason that seems to be. They heap them at the feet of the statue, the God Emperor. Seems to think that was his most important, which, to be fair to the settlers, it probably was when they first settled it, and it is the most useless of them, of course, but the most useful for us. So, take that as you will. There are any number of other mines.
Oh, I would love to take them.
There any this is all written so you can't respond, but yeah, it was anyway, dear sister, I thought I'd give you first dibs because I do longer owe you this favor, by the way, once I do this for you.
You what? Owe me a favor?
He allegedly owed the captain a favor. He sent this message basically to her, his sister.
Oh, okay. But so why are we going there? I mean, do we have what's our mission there?
Your mission is whatever you want it to be. You could very much make some decent money and have a repeating stream of income and a power base if you played your cards right. But I do not have the patience for that, and I have other matters that I have found very pressing. Here, the coordinates, and is the in the Ultima Segmentum, near the edge, but not quite. Let me look at a map. It is in the Artemis subsector, but on the opposite edge from the main warp storms there. Quite possibly those were further expanded later. Please note that I don't hold you any ill will. In fact, I might actually show some fondness for you. Please be careful. Don't do anything stupid. Don't. Who are we kidding? You're going to do something very stupid. Best, love, your brother.
Okay, so that's still part of the message.
Yes. Yes, her brother Oron. Captain Oron Humshul of the Squidvark. So the message, so that's everything you know about the planet, which is what Captain Oron, Captain Helmshul, the other Captain Helmshul, sent. You also know that he's probably going to send messages to other members of the family at some point. So there might be a limited time frame for exclusivity, although there might be interplay politics. You could get a cut of it depending on how you played your cards. So that's what you know about the planet with the diamonds. While you're doing all of that, we are going to check something. Not that. I have a map of the Expanse. Yeah, I have a map of the nope. Yeah. Oh, there it is. I put it in the wrong file. Okay. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to show you the map, and you're going to gaze on its beauty. It's a very good map, but let me just... You know what? I'm going to show you the map. We go to this one. I might actually already have it. Nope, don't, because it was in the other one. Boom. Let me go to this one, that one. There we go. If you look on the stream screen, you should be able to see the map. A very big version of the map. Yes, and the Artemis sector is about... Where is it? This one. It was right here. Nephis, Maelstrom, no. Where is it? There it is. It's right up near the border with the Segmentum Obscurus. If you look on the stream, the map is kind of the whole thing because it's such a big map that shrinking it would make it practically unreadable. But that is roughly where you are on the map. Alright, I'm going to take the map down, okay?
Yep.
Boom. Okay, now we can see everyone again. So, that's about where it is. It would be actually quite far, though. So, it's quite far from where you are. It would take a long time in the warp to get there. You can down that. How long depends on how well Farina does on her roll, but is your main navigator. Actually, from Holy Terra. Well, she didn't grow up on Holy Terra, but she studied there and is a very competent navigator because Captain Helmshow owed a deal with their house because she, the head of the house had bastard children who weren't navigators, so they could pull some favors to get someone who's competent. But, and they have picked up a few extra navigators along the way because you guys end up picking up a lot of strays. So, it would take at least 10 weeks in the warp to get there. You would know that. It could be a lot more, could be a lot less. You're not a navigator, but you know this is a long time in the warp. And all sorts of things happen in the warp. So, and while you're pondering this over, Odette is going to make a roll, and I'm going to check something, because Farina has some, Jezebel does have some powers, in fact. She's not useless. She has some fun psychic powers. She has... Fact. Oh, yes. They have to roll for that, too. And if it fails badly, you might end up getting some bad things happening. No, she has... Oh, this one. All right. Opposed willpower test. Okay. So... Target will find... Oh! Oh! Boom! This is a really good skill for... This is a really good skill for interrogation. Like a really good one. Actually, she might have picked the right psyker for this. If the yeah, Jezebel, when she gets going, she knows what she's doing. All right, so her, and we know we have her willpower. Oh, that's actually a good roll too. There's that. His willpower is about 20, not great. Yeah, no, that's a failure, and hers is definitely better than I would imagine. Let me just double check, but I'm almost certain that hers is better than that. And even if it isn't, he was down by more, so that should work.
You're having a conversation with yourself
yes,
about stuff that I have no idea what you're talking about.
Basically, they're having this interrogation, and she's having Jezebel use a skill set that she has that is incredibly useful for interrogations, but they have to make an opposed will test. There's probably
what is the skill? Out of curiosity,
it's called Delude. Basically, yeah. Oh,
I picked that one up. It was pretty good.
Less than 1 degree of success, but the other guy failed badly. So this goes. All right, so it goes through, and study mask intention, manipulate others into pose willpower test against targets. The target will find the psychic person deserving of respect. Okay, so I would say with that, between that and everything else, she succeeds. And yes, so the power is called Delude. It basically says, I'll read it out for you guys too. For the few people we have 4 people watching. It's pretty good. One of the simpler telepathic tricks, Delude allows the psyker to subtly mask his intentions and manipulate others interacting favorably for her for a short time. The psyker makes an opposed willpower test against the target. If the psyker succeeds, the target will find the psyker to be a person deserving of respect and react positively for any friendly overtures he makes. For as long as the psyker maintains this power, she gains a plus 30 bonus to all interaction skill tests against the target. Note that this technique is not mind control as such, and the psyker cannot force others to act against their better judgment, harm themselves, nor hide acts of overt hostility by the psyker. So all she has to do now is just ask nicely. Play into it. And I think she has decent fellowship, too. Yeah, she has decent fellowship. So, with a plus 30... Yeah, with a plus 30, she absolutely makes it. So, she gets you to tell him. And Finnick, actually, you do get a psychic message from Jezebel saying, he said it's a planet called Volthea. She's on Volthea, on an island, small island. Give me a minute. Sorry. DM has to look up which island on Volthea she's actually on. We have this as a, we have a lot of lore on a lot of planets, but Boa, Beezus, Plumpter. No, oh! Yes. Oh, that's Growth. Never mind. Kopheth. Well, there. Here we go. Island. The kingdom. Nosrak. It's middle island on Nosrak. Yeah, it's the middle island on Nosrak. Apparently, their cardinal is not of the starry multitudes, and the king's an idiot, so it was really easy to stash someone there. Something. Their king is called Motnap. Modanap. Yeah, Modanap. King Modanap. It's in this sector, in the Priam, the Priam sector. So, not too far. Well, it's in the Priam sector. So, it's mostly on the other side of the segmentum, but not too far. Farron is good. So,
Not too.
I mean, it's in the same segmentum as you are, which is, up a step. That's closer than 3/4 of the Imperium. Although you're close to the edge of the segmentum, so maybe if you went down to Segmentum Capestus, maybe there'd be a few that were closer, but,
Are you sending all that to him in a message?
No. This is in Phoenix Head, you get that. An island called Middle Nosrak. Yeah, the King of Nosrak's apparently kind of a pushover. And the Cardinal isn't of the Starry Multitudes. You're not quite sure what that means, but apparently whoever was telling Jezebel this thought it was important, and it's a reason why they stashed him there. You'll find out when you get there, you guys. But that's what you know about... that's where she's stashed. So, now you know. It's closer, and there's less chaos. So, yes, there is no warp storms directly in that sector. So,
So basically, we're given a choice of directions to go where one of them's not really an option.
I mean, you could go to either. You just have to avoid the warp storms. Farron is good. She's probably able to avoid the main big warp storm.
Kind of like she avoided the last one that had all the servitors attack me.
Listen, nobody's perfect and the warp is wonky. But, going to a big warp storm like that, though, it's your call. I'll see the choice over the players. Now you know both of them. Unless Finnick just does not tell anyone about this.
Is Johan still here when I
Yeah.
get this message? Or
Yeah.
is he left to
Yeah,
go?
because Nanette brought the data tablet to you, and I'm guessing, Johan, you were reading out loud?
Yes.
Alright, so you're listening to Johan read out loud this note from Captain Helmshell's brother, and then you get the message from...
He skips out like a lot as he's reading it. He's like, blah, 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 blah. Like he'll raise his hand and go, blah, 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 blah. God, this guy just drones on and on. Come on, get to the... He tries to shorten that message as much as he can. He doesn't feel like reading it all.
Okay. So as Johan's kind of bullet pointing out this message that came through,
Exactly.
you get a message in your head from Jezebel explaining she's on a planet called Volthea on an island called Mid Nosrak. Mid Nosrak. Middle Nosrak.
Okay, so I guess we need to make a choice now, Johan.
I think the choice is made for us. I really don't feel like flying to the warp again that long to what looked like a fairly dangerous part of the...
Both of these are going to be a bit of a long jaunt. One is going to be a bit more dangerous on the path, but potentially lead to quite a bit of money, a lot of diamonds. But the other one is on the other side of the segmentum. That's about a fifth of the galaxy.
True.
So it's still a long way away.
I really have no interest in this girl, rescuing her.
True. However, I will say this.
We could pass on the information and someone else can go pick her up.
True. Also, though, I will say this. You would both know this. If you rescue this young woman, you have a favor owed. You have a favor owed by someone close to an enemy, someone fairly high up in the organization of someone who has a very distinct rivalry. So having this in might be extremely useful politically.
As opposed to having a lot of money where I could buy that same thing.
I mean, bot loyalty is fragile. And you do have already got some money from the people Rao. You got some pretty decent cash from that.
But who needs bought loyalties when you can buy munitions to get what you want?
Okay, yes, you could. In an all-out war, that is a possibility. If you wanted to upgrade weapons or do something like that, having more funds would be helpful. I'm not going to make your decision for you.
You have already made the decision for us because you keep steering us towards the wrong direction.
So, what's your final call? You going to Thea, or are you going to
Are we able to stop by a planet on the way that can
have donuts?
That have A, donuts, and B, armor for...
yeah, I would say there are probably...
Try to combine the two into... I'm going to have... I'll ask Odette to cross-reference donuts and power armor.
And
so that we can make this an efficient trip. But obviously, anything that has the technological prowess to create this kind of armor is also going to be able to create tasty donuts that would have that.
You'd think.
In theory.
Like, basic. And Odette just says, you know what? Yes, I know a planet, and it's in this segmentum, too.
Let's head there first, and then we will head to go rescue whatever her name is for whatever reason while we're doing this. I don't know.
Okay.
They also have Amasec. I'm almost out.
All right.
Wait. Well, actually, no one did tell us. Is this who is this person? Is she a princess or something?
No. She is the daughter of a captain. The captain of the ship that brought the mercenaries there. He only agreed to bring them there. They needed the warp ship. Right. And they needed the warp ship with someone who had a legitimate business on Ra'au so that they could slip by without, arousing suspicion.
Do I still have the mental link with Phoenix?
No.
No. But you could reestablish one if you wanted. Well, actually, Finnick would have to reestablish it, but you could absolutely reestablish it, or just, talk. In the hospital room, there's a lot going on. I don't anyone would particularly notice if you're quietly conversing.
Johan whispers to Phoenix, like, so does a daughter of a captain have a title? Is she anything interesting? Have you ever heard of that?
I mean, a lot of these things pass on in a hereditary kind of fashion, so I imagine she's next in line to take over.
So, has our prisoner seen this princess or this girl?
You don't know. You'd have to ask.
I'll ask the lady who just did the interrogation? Were you able to read from his mind if he'd seen her?
Well, I wasn't pulling directly. That's considered rather rude, and I can only get, like, I don't have Finnick's ability to pull.
You are the worst interrogator ever.
I got him to tell us the important information. Listen, I got him to tell us the important... worst...
Did you?
Worst
what did she look
ever?
Like? What did she look like?
He said that she was, he said she was 10 something. He said that he didn't, but she was, he thought of her as a woman. I don't know. He was explaining something about her.
Thought of her as a woman. Okay.
I don't know.
That does narrow it down.
Well, thank you. So now we know that on an entire planet that she only qualifies for half the people there.
Well, no.
Thank you for that.
I know she's in a house.
Interrogation.
I know what house she's in.
She has a house too?
No,
oh my God.
There's a house on the planet. I asked that. He was mentioning stuff, but I didn't think it was important when he talked about her. Because
there's a whole city of them, I bet.
No, but a specific one. He gave a number. Like a number and a name and a street so you can find the house. Sort of. They have a weird system, but
they don't use the metric system, do they?
The entire Imperium uses the metric system.
Ugh. I mean, that tracks, but
yeah. Why do you think...
You'd think they would use the Imperial system. It's in the name, but okay.
It's the wrong empire. It's a different empire. They don't want to, like, have the shadow of the British Empire when they're a much better empire than the British Empire ever was. Just saying.
Mm-hmm.
But that's where the...
the Roman Empire didn't have metric either, so...
Yeah, and they fell. So, you know... The British Empire didn't fall as such. Kind of...
just kind of collapsed.
Yeah, it slowly whittled down into... As people got more independence, now it's 1.5 islands and a bunch in the Falklands, and I think... No, they don't have Hong Kong anymore. They might still have Macau.
Didn't Argentina take back the Falklands, or is that still up?
No, they went to war over it. I think Argentina lost the war. Maggie Thatcher's government ran the war. I think Argentina lost. I want to say. I can...
It's not important right now.
Yes, agreed. Yes. In any case. So, you have, British, yes, they use the metric system. You know of the two. You have the exact house number, like the address, essentially, of this house in this middle Nosrak. Middle Nosrak, which is an island on the planet Volthea, with a king, who's king over multiple islands, from what you can gather, but, this is the island. He's a petty king, and he has a cardinal to the God Emperor on his little island. There is a planetary governor of Volthea, but, that's a whole other story, and you don't have the political workings of that. This guy is probably not the planetary governor. From what you gather.
So,
you could actually do research on Volthea if you wanted.
No, I'd rather not. Johan would say to read, not to read. So basically, what I'm gathering then, if this guy's a petty dictator so we're trying to win the favor of a petty dictator, or
no? The king
he's being held by the petty dictator.
It's being held on the land controlled by this petty dictator who is apparently an idiot who doesn't actually control his own land. But you're rescuing the daughter of a captain who is in the employ of a rival of the rogue trader. And yes, she may or may not have a certain amount of inheritance, certainly a lot of money, and he's definitely going to pay you to get her back. So there is that involved. Now, whether it's more than a planet full of diamonds, you're not sure. But he's definitely going to pay you back in both money and favors, because he cares deeply about his child and wants her back. So
what are the odds? I'll ask you. So what are the odds that we're going to get attacked going to that planet? Is that petty dictator going to take kindly to us showing up on his doorstep?
He didn't particularly. He was lax enough to let these random interstellar terrorists stash someone there. So you're guessing you can get there without him noticing.
Are you sure that he didn't owe them favors?
No, you have no idea on that. But actually, according to Jezebel, they picked it because they had other interests on Volthea, and they knew this guy was kind of an idiot, and it was remote. And had easy access since it's in a position with a lot of sea traffic. They could kind of get there without arousing too much suspicion. So they had a base on... Volthaean geography here. I wrote all the notes on Volthaean geography. They had a base on the other...
Do we have a map of the planet?
No, because I didn't draw one, but I can say yes. Oh. You have a map, but I can't show the viewers the map, essentially. You have, I will say that you could probably come up with a rough map of the planet.
So we'll know, are we going to have to travel to get to this location?
Almost certainly.
I mean, you could probably, wherever we drop off, we get dropped off.
You could try getting a flyer down onto the island itself. It would be a risk, certainly, but... let's see. Zaros, Burland... Sarah... No, it's definitely past this one. Yeah. You could absolutely try getting a flyer down.
Well, what I could do is instead of just getting one box of donuts, I get two and bribe the dictator with one.
You also know that if he lives in on a planet that has regular frequent trade, he can probably buy all the donuts he wants.
Yeah, but they're off-world donuts, so everything, it's like when you go to a different country, a different planet, and the food tastes better because it's from a different planet, even if it's the same food.
Because it's exotic. So you're getting off-world donuts.
Exactly.
Well, yes, because you would be stopping at Koblik, and you could probably get, which means yes, you could probably get. Oh yeah, that's how she knows about it. That makes sense. That tracks. Okay. Who's from Koblik, actually?
Who's from there?
One of your... I'm almost certain.
Either way, we're going to be stuck. It's going to take a little while for us to get to the planet with the armor.
Yes. It'll take at least a few weeks to get to Koblik.
And how long will it take from there to get to what we need?
Roughly, you're not sure, but less time than it would have taken you to go directly there. You could also just go to Koblik to pick up supplies and then choose then.
Well, either way, we're going to get supplies, so we'll head there first. What do you think, Phoenix? Does that sound like a reasonable idea?
I think it sounds like a plan.
Okay.
It definitely sounds like a plan. We should.
Interesting.
Of all the plans that you've come up with so far, this is definitely one of them.
Oh, I know who's from there. I know exactly who's from there. Yes, you've been there before, actually. For a bit of a reputation. But, on the other hand, Elwyn Keynes is from there, actually.
Well, I've been there before, then?
No, it was before you joined the crew. But, yes. Kobleck is a planet that Elowen Keynes was from.
Now, did Phoenix join before or after
Before.
I did?
Phoenix was actually when the crew was first coalesced.
Phoenix, all this time you've known about this planet and you haven't said anything?
You didn't ask.
Also, there are a lot of planets that have both donuts and power. Maybe not power armor. Power armor is tricky, but you don't have power armor. You have
Hold up, yeah, power armor? What?
No, power armor. You're gonna have to go to the Forge World. But what you have is really good armor that is not power armor. It is
Carapace.
Carapace, yeah. Getting Carapace.
Oh, wait, can I get power armor?
If you want to get power armor as a non-space marine, you're gonna have to go to. There's a handful of Forge Worlds that might be able to make it. There's actually one kind of near. Oh, Renthok's Moon does. Renthok's Moon does. Yes, I made that canon from another Rogue Trader campaign. Renthok's Moon does power armor. Sorry, Renthok's a really cool.
And just out of curiosity, what is the advantage of wearing power armor as opposed to the carapace?
Power armor is
much higher armor rating. It also increases your strength. Makes you bigger, so you're easier to hit.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Also makes you a bad power armor is.
Yeah, let's get some of that. That sounds interesting.
Well, okay. So, if you wanted to get power armor, you know what? You're going to Renthok's. If you're going to get power armor, you're going to Renthok's Moon. I'm making you go there. And Renthok is, let's see, where is it? It's all the way in the Segmentum Tempestus, which is an entire segmentum over from where you are. It's not just the next segmentum over, which is where Artemis is, and near the border too. It's not Priam, which is in where Volthea is, which I should probably write down on my notes about Volthea so we don't forget.
They make power armor on Kudos too.
And Kobleck is in the Striken. Yes. Striken sector. Segmentum. I'm writing down where all these planets are so that we can have maps. And this one is in the actually it's in the it's in the Escala, yeah. It's in the it's a little farther down. It's in the Escalon. So it's not it's on the Escalon. Escalon, Escalon 2L, sector. In, also in the Segmentum Obscurus. And then, and Striken is where Kobleck is. We established that. So it's one sector over, so it's a couple weeks at most. Well, depending on how. But it's definitely a few. It's 3-4 weeks at most to get 2 sectors over. Well, it's 3-4 weeks. It can be done in 3-4 weeks if you have the good solid. Yes. And then Volthea, we said. Yeah, so yeah, you can get to Kobleck pretty quick, and then Volthea, it's a little farther out from that. And look at us learning what counts for geography. 17, Jesselheim, yes, that is Volthea. Is in the Priam sector of the Segmentum Obscurus. But yes, if you wanted to go get power armor, you would have to travel all the way to the Segmentum No, it's on the border between the segmentum. It's in the segmentum tempestus, right on the border with the segmentum pacificus. And so you're not too far from the border with the segmentum pacificus, but you'd have to. Well, actually, no. You could go straight line down through. You'd have to cross the entire segmentum solar, essentially, if you went that way.
Yes, we're doing whatever it is. We're doing it. Let's go.
Okay. Move. Well, that was not what I expected, but okay, it's gonna be a lot. Oh, you have to go past the Eye of Terror too. Yeah. The furthest path to Renthok would be straight through the Eye of Terror. Well, I mean, you could go a little bit and then down. Yeah. So that's a bit of a risk. Just saying.
Well, we just go around it. We don't have to go through it.
Actually, no. You're in the. You're one sector up. Yeah. Yeah. You're. Actually, you're in the Ixnad. Yeah, Ixnad. That would make more sense, true, because you'd be down from the Chronos Expanse, and Rel was near that. Oh, and Prela. Oh, that little planet's out there. You don't know about it, but it's actually right nearby. That's fun. Yeah. No, Rao's kind of in a little bit. Actually, they might get, no, because they're not them, but they might get another interesting. That might, no, different rogue traders did that. Good to know, though. So, you are going to go past the Eye of Terror all the way to the Segmentum Tempestus, to try to procure power armor from a bunch of, a moon of Renthok, which is a Forge world, that you don't know what they might want. You'd have to pull favors. You'd have to do some the kind of favors they want for power armor, for a non-Inquisitor is gonna be high. Especially because I know you're rogue traders. They're gonna want something out of you. Yeah, they're gonna want something. And you're gonna have to pull favors.
So
hardcore. But you can get Finnic Carapace and very easily on your way to I mean, I'm not going to say you can't go to that, but I mean, I'm just saying there are a lot of risks and complications involved in getting power armor that you would be better prepared if you had diamonds already, and also would be better prepared if you had access to favors. With this rivalry, especially if you could leverage that into something, which you probably could if you knew you were smart. But
all right. So basically, you just had to do 15 minutes of analyzing why we can't do this.
I'm saying why it's a bad idea. I want you to you guys know you guys are on the ship, you understand the full implications of what stuff means. I want to make sure you have informed decisions.
We're headed towards to get the lady, because that's what we have to do. That's basically what we have to do, because everything else we try to do is not good. So let's just head towards and get the lady and rescue her. Go.
Sure. Do you want to stop on the way to get Carapace armor?
No, I don't want to stop anywhere, because I don't want to hear another 15-minute explanation why it's a pain in the butt and you can't do it.
Koblik is not a pain in the butt. In fact, it's fairly easy. Okay. So you're going straight to straight to oh, hi Biggie.
We're having how's it going?
I've been trying to explain the political implications of all their different options, and Zig is not having it. But yeah, you could stop at Koblek, or you could go directly there. Not too much difference. So, what do you want to do?
I will leave that decision up to Phoenix.
Yeah. Do you want to stop to get Carapace?
I think it sounds like a plan, because regardless of where we stop, we're going to attract a lot of attention, and a lot of attention comes with the possibility of a firefight.
Oh. Interesting. There's some fun stuff on Koblek. Okay. Sure. So, you're off to Koblek. Let us see. It is few sectum. Yeah, it's you're in the so that's there. Yes, so it's not too far at all. Okay, so I'm going to make a roll in secret, and you start on your way. Yes, the captain does agree that getting Finnick power armor is probably good, or at least Carapace. Something better than, what do you got, flak?
Regular flak, yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, you need an upgrade. Ooh, that's very good. That's very good. Farina's on her game today. Okay. So, Verna kind of communes with the warp and says, actually, that's fairly easy. I can get you there in 3 weeks. No problem. Assuming nothing goes wrong. But 3 weeks, 5 maximum, this is easy. This is smooth sailing. It's right on we can ding the major warp route and yes. Yeah, no, we can do this. And you can kind of see, you're trying not to look directly at her third eye, which is uncovered to help her see this, because if you look directly at it, bad things happen. She's facing away from you. But, yeah, I can do this easily. Let's do it. So, everyone hold tight. We're translating into the warp. And you kind of, it's true. There's a whole, list of, how to resist the power, and what it does, and, there's checks involved, and it's like a psychic power to look into this eye. Although if it's another psyker, you just get migraines. That is a fun thing. But the yes, you translate into the warp. We're actually getting through the warp. We're actually getting warp stuff. We're here. Okay, so you begin by oh, no, that would be horrible to do in your navigator, especially because they might not navigate as well, and then you can't get things like this, where it only takes you 3 weeks to get to the planet you need to get to. So, you translate into the warp. There's a lot of... It's weird and unpleasant and gives you wobbly vibes, but you go through, and you are in the warp. Let me just check something with healing, because you're sitting there healing. How fast do you heal? Because you...
Well, to be clear, I won't be there all 3 weeks with Phoenix. I will probably go back to...
Yeah, I know. You'd probably go and do other stuff, and... Actually, yeah, you can absolutely do other stuff while you're doing there, but I want to know how fast Finnick heals. Just in case there's trouble, it'd be worth knowing.
I think I should be good in less than a week.
Okay.
Right, because it's like toughness bonus per day or something with lightly wounded.
Skills, no.
I should be able to find it.
Yes. Injury, wounds, damage, fatigue, healing. Here we go. Lightly damaged. Equal to or less than twice the toughness bonus. Okay, so what's your toughness bonus?
Is 3.
So have you taken more than 6 wounds?
I do not believe so. I'm gonna check my maximum.
Yes.
Nope.
Okay, so you are lightly damaged. Character puts entire day to bed rest, moves equal to toughness bonus. So yeah, you're unless you want to go do something other than hang out and kind of eavesdrop on all of the nonsense going on in the thing. One of the warp technicians just got a mangled leg, and there's a lot of screaming. But Nurse Joy of Nurse Joy, you have Cutter's also injured, so they have a couple of the med techs running around with her. You got arguments, you got all sorts of fun stuff going on. But yeah, you're listening in on that. So yes, we are in the warp. One of you has to roll a D100. You guys roll these. And I bring up the warp table, which is... let's save. Okay, it's in documents. Warp table, here we go. Ooh, there's some fun ones on here. Okay. And,
well, I got a 71, whatever that is.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. Just off of, so close to being everything's fine. Okay, so, so 4 days in, which means that you're fully healed. The first 3 days are rather uneventful. After 2 days, you're pretty much all set, and they discharge you to your whatever you want to be doing. Yeah, you guys have 3 days of whatever you want to do before anything goes wrong. It's just, for 3 days, you have smooth sailing. Just bunkily through the warp. On the 4th day, though, 4th day is weird. Things start getting weird. It is about morning. And you guys would probably be, well, morning as relative to ship. It's been synced up to RAW time, so just because that was easier as you were going there, you're going to start shifting it over. In the last week, they're going to start shifting that. It's going to be like daylight savings, where you shift an hour every day to get it closer to whatever time there's on Koblik, where you're going.
Jet lag.
Yeah, they're trying to prevent that. But in the meantime, it is morning. The first proper shift of the day. Everyone's up and about, and yeah, I would say Net would come to you, Finnick. Also, you guys aren't doing anything for the first 3 days, right? Because you have ample time to do stuff if you want. Actually, if you took any, I remember, Finnick, you took some stuff, so you'd probably be working on all of that in-game, whatever improvements you were making.
Yeah. Fiddling around with people, messing with their minds a little bit.
Yeah.
Having fun.
Exactly. But yeah, you get a knock on the door. And you notice something. Would you be messing with the other psychers or with just random crew members?
Oh, random crew members, yeah.
Okay. Yes. Yeah, so you got a knock on your door.
Okay.
It's first thing in the morning, you're probably just waking up. And there's a... and then you... Ding! And you hear it, that and the little ding. I'm guessing... Actually, would Finnick have installed the doorbell on the quarters? Because you can have a choice if you want to or not.
Probably not.
Okay, so yeah, then you hear a more manual knocking.
Yep. Coming. I go no. Open the door.
We have a problem. I didn't know who else to contact. Maybe I could have... Johan's... I don't know what Johan would have done, but... I was with Janthine, right? She'd come up to the bridge. They were sending a message to somebody, I think on Koblik, and... Oh, no, Dr... Not Dr. Keynes, but, she wanted to send a message to... And she was with Jezebel, and she went to the bridge, and then Jezebel just... She vanished.
Vanished. So
Vanished, like she was there 1 minute and then she wasn't.
So she's gone and you don't know where she went.
But I mean, like, that gone. Not like walked out of the bridge and now I can't find her, because then she could just be anywhere, but like, poof, vanished.
Okay.
And I thought it was warpy thing, and you're good at warp?
Yeah, give me a moment. And, God, this is a big ship, so this might actually not work. So she was on the bridge, yeah?
Yeah.
All right, I'll head down there and see what I can find.
Okay. So yeah, you head to the bridge, and you see Farina kind of strapped to the navigation throne, just staring outward into the seeing the warp. Navigators are weird. You have no idea what she's doing, but it's working, hypothetically. Captain's there, looking over star charts, trying to figure out what's going on in Koblik that you can take advantage of. And Dr. Keynes is there, just kind of pacing back and forth.
Okay. This is the last place you saw her?
Yes. She was right there, kind of points. Right, and kind of comes to there, here. Points
Yeah.
spot on the floor. Right here. And then she wasn't.
Okay, so I'd like to try Psyniscience and see if I can get any detection of her presence where she might be.
Okay. Take a deep breath and roll a willpower check. You don't actually have to take a deep breath, but heard it helps.
Yeah. 64. That's not going to do it.
No. You're right next to Farina, and yes, navigator powers aren't psychic based exactly, but it definitely is in the same vein, and it's kind of an overwhelming. Like, and for half a second, as you try to open your mind, you see the warp through Farina's eyes, and it is it's a lot. You see like a vast plains desert with jagged rocks and the creatures, and there's this big storm off the side, and you're like, huh. And then because you know this is how she sees the warp, and then you blink back and your ears are still ringing, and you're like, that was warp, but doesn't help you with finding where Farina is.
Okay, well, I can't get a read on where she might have gone from here. I was hoping I could be able to feel the echoes she leaves in the warp, but it's a bit distracting. No offense.
Farina kind of, she's kind of so out of it. She doesn't, so should we start a manual search?
It's a big ship, and there's a lot of places she could have gone.
I mean, maybe she went somewhere other than the ship.
Other than the ship?
I don't know. It just seems like she's not in here. I mean, the way she vanished, if you had seen it. You can't do that, right? That's not a warp power you have?
Let me put it this way. She's either on the ship or she isn't. Anything outside the Geller field is gone.
Oh, yeah, that's a thing, isn't it? Oh dear. But, and she wouldn't even have noticed because she doesn't notice anything.
Well, just put the word out. It's possible that somebody may have even found her already. Just know that we're looking for her.
Okay.
I can try to send a message. If she's able to hear it, then she might be able to tell where she is. Um, which I need to look. I need to look the rules up. I'm not sure if I need to make a check for that or not.
Don't think so. Especially if it's a long distance, you might need a. But for someone vaguely nearby, especially in their psyker, I don't think you need to send a message.
It is a focus power test, yeah.
Oh, okay. So, that would be a willpower. Focus power test. Go for it.
Yeah. Unfettered, just to get a little bit more.
Oh, which means that if you roll doubles, there's
only if I roll doubles. What are the odds?
9%, 10%.
Yeah, I'll be fine.
Actually, 9% because if you got 100,
which I'm glad I did that because the extra psi rating means that I actually did succeed.
Yeah, so you get a message out.
Jezebel, where are you?
And you get a response. I don't know.
Can you see anything?
It's dark. And there's metal. And it's inside a Geller field.
Are you in a closet?
There's no door.
Can you hear anything?
Right, hearing. There's a thump, and then another thump, and then another thump, and it's just doing that over and over again. And then there's this wickety noise, I think. Sometimes it comes and goes, I think, but that just might be me hearing it wrong.
I'm going to describe what she's telling me to the person who brought me to the bridge.
Net?
Yes.
Yeah, she's well familiar with a lot of areas of the ship just because it sounds like she's... I mean, the most regular... Well, the engines, the fusion drive, the cooling vents on the fusion drive do that. And that's just how power sounds. You hear it if you listen. If you're too close to one of the power conduits, you hear the buzzing.
Is it possible that she got jumped kind of inside one of the panels?
Possibly. Warp, weird, I don't know, but I think it's possible.
Is there any way to safely open some of those up while the engines are running?
Anywhere near the cooling. Well, there's four cooling. I mean, there's a lot of ones that are hollow in case you need to get to the power coupling, but opening them requires... I think a lot of them are just sealed. Just because... and the way to open them is having the right tools. Yeah, you just have to find the right tools.
Can you call up some from engineering and get them down there so we can check and see if she's inside?
Yeah. Which one though? There's 4, and they all make that sound.
Guess we just start one at a time. I can try to contact her again. Just have her knock on the walls and perhaps be able to hear the sound from outside.
Okay, let me get. I know a couple of apprentices who would help. I'll tell him the cap. I'll tell him. I'll come an excuse. Don't worry. Do you want me to? I could get them. I could get him and Aaron and them and her and that's 4. If we put one on each, and then you do the thing with the thing.
Sure. Let's try that.
Okay. Give me time, and she kind of runs off. Yeah. And about actually though, here's a question, Johan. Where would you be about mid-morning?
Probably on the bridge.
Okay, well then you would have heard this whole thing going down. In fact, you probably would have seen this whole thing happen.
Seen her disappear?
Yes, you would have seen you would have seen she would have been up here kind of also hanging around. There's a kind of part in the back upper kind of gallery, and you're not the only couple. There's a few. Odette usually hangs out up here. You two usually avoid each other, especially she's kind of still salty about she's still kind of pissed at you, but there's usually a few. Laura sometimes, depending on the day. Anyone who doesn't have anything they really need to do just kind of is here in case something happens. And so you're hanging out, and you you saw Ellen and Keynes come up and looking for one of the psychers, found Jezebel. They were talking for a little bit. It took, you were like rolling your eyes because it took so long for her to explain, but she sent the message, and then it was, what did she want? She wanted her to contact a friend of hers on Koblik, and she was like, yeah, okay. And then there's a whoop noise, and Jezebel wasn't there anymore. And then Nanette, who was also kind of hanging around, saw this from the bottom. She's usually there in case the captain needs something, and just panicked. They were talking for a little bit, and said, yeah, one of the other astropaths. You gather, she said, Captain told her to go get one of the other astropaths. She went and got Finnick, and so you're kind of up there, and if you'd hung around, you would have seen that Finnick would have come up and started trying to do things, unless you had gone off to try something else.
I just let Finnick do what he's doing. I don't have mental power, so I can't track her down.
Yeah, so you would have just kind of hung there watching, and it took a good 20 minutes for her to go get Finnick. But yeah, if you hung around for then, you would have seen Finnick come up, you would have seen them arguing, and you would have...
Do we have scanners that can detect people on the ship?
You have the ship's sensors. You have the ship's sensors. There's probably an internal... I would say there are some internals. You'd have to refocus them. That'd be something you could try.
Well, I guess we'll try it.
Okay. So, the ship's sensors. There is a list of checks for those. So, nope. There is, okay, so the ship's sensors gives you, using the, let me see. This is back under spaceships. There are, it would be a tricky, test. Let's see. Armory talents, the psychic starships. Essential components. Auxiliary, warp span, Geller field, void shields, life sustainers, bridge, crew quarters, augury. Here we go. Standard sensor array. You've got the multi-band. What kind of augury do you have? That's an important question because this gives you a list of. I have stats for the entire ship because we're cool like that. Let's see. Yeah, it's a short sword class frigate, 1.6 kilometers long, and 0.3 kilometers of beam, 6 megatons. Max sustainable acceleration of 4.5 gravity. Ish. Oh, there's a minus 20 in all repair tests. But only minus 10 if the bridge is undamaged. So that's fun if you want to repair the ship, your components. Warp Spain hull, single void shield array, armored combat. Oh, you've got an armored combat bridge in case trouble breaks out. So you have the R50 Auspex multiband. Plus 10 on navigation. Alright, so okay, so it's been optimized for navigation at the expense of the sensor's other uses. Component does not require, not require hull space. Oh, yeah. Okay, so you would get probably a, let me look at the list of skills and find one that's good. So yeah, you would get, it's not going to help you much. It's going to be a minus 10 because it's optimized for, being optimized for, you also have a 10 bar mace. Interesting. Yes, being optimized for, no, not that. Weapons. Okay, so, maneuver, okay, yes. So, detection. Yes. Yeah, the detection. So it would be a detection, it's not, okay. Oh. Example, actions, maneuver, adjust speed, new bearing, disengage, just bearing, extended, evasive, chase, flee, active augury. Okay, challenging, scrutiny and detection test. So you get a minus 2 on detection. So it's a scrutiny and scan the area surrounding the ship. It's scan successful. Okay, so to turn them inward, you need to start with a tech use test.
You're telling me that 40,000 years in the future, they can't do what our cell phones today can do?
Cell phones today can't read biosigns.
No, but they can determine where people are.
Only if they have a cell phone on them. She has a comm. She doesn't have a comm beat, actually. She doesn't usually carry one. So, the only reason she can contact Finnick is because the mind play. So, yeah, there's nothing to ping. Cell phones also... Yeah, cell phones can ping GPS on things that have other GPS on. Which... yeah. An interesting thought. Yeah, you could probably ping people's comm beads. Although 40,000 years in the future, tech is wonky and definitely things the Omni side. But yes, you could get... yeah, I would say you could probably ping her comm bead, except she doesn't... Yeah, why don't you try pinging her comm bead? You can do that.
All right, I'll try doing that.
You ping, because she's for the app, she has one. You ping it, and it shows up in the crew quarters, actually.
Okay, I will alert security to go check out that section.
Okay.
And to bring a servitor with them in case she's trapped in a wall or something dumb.
Okay.
So that they can get her out.
Yeah. You can get.
I'm assuming like one of those robots one of those ones that I had to fight that last time we were in the warp.
Sure.
One of those guys will be able to get her out.
Okay, you will. Okay. I'm trying to take better notes so I actually know these things for later. Okay, so yeah, you have security go check them out. In the meantime, you have that happening while Finnick is also having the net is running around trying to organize a couple of apprentice warp guys that she knows through a series of conniving. She has her methods, but she gets one stationed and eventually comes hustling back up to the deck. Okay. Okay. I got it set up. I got the thing set up.
All right, so we're ready?
Yeah.
Well, let's see if we can find her.
Okay. So you make another focus power test to get contact with her again.
Okay. I'll just do the same thing.
Okay. Just roll doubles.
23.
Okay. Close, but no doubles. Okay, good. But yes, that is very doable. So yeah, you get in contact with her again.
We think we know where you're at, but we just need to get a little bit closer. Can you pound on the walls, make a little bit of noise so that we can find exactly where you're at?
And yeah, she starts pound on the walls. Got it. And you notice that she never has any problem with brain message. It's only with spoken word. But yeah, she starts to pound on the wall, presumably. She said she's going to do it. So... And it kind of looks at you. Should I go talk to them?
Has anyone heard anything?
Or... Well, I don't know. I don't have extra comm beads to give them, so I'd have to go ask.
All right.
Unless you had extra comm beads.
I have one, but do they?
No, they don't give... They have, the head of each department has a comm bead, and then you have the ship's intercom for anyone else. But, you can ask over the ship's intercom if you want, but then, yeah,
why don't you just head for the first one over there? I'll start on the other end, and we'll work our way in.
Okay. Sounds good. So she leads you down, and it takes a while. She kind of tells you how to get to the, there's the four. So she kind of tells you exactly how to get to the, first one. They call it A. They call them A, B, C, D. Because, and she's going for D. And, you find, kid of about maybe 17, 18, kind of frowning at the panels as a drill, kind of looking them over, listening a little bit, kind of spins. Oh, you're one of the astropaths. Yeah?
Yes. Have you heard anything coming from inside here, or has it been quiet?
Just the usual thumps, and you can hear the sound that the conduits make. The other guys swear they can't hear it, but it's pretty obvious. And, then you hear the way the engine does the thrum, but I mean nothing other than the usual sounds you hear.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna head to the next one double check to see if it's on a different part of the engine.
Okay. Sounds like a plan.
All right, so I'll move on and
Can I ask, wait, is someone trapped in one of these?
possibly. We'll find out in a minute.
How did they get in? Doesn't make sense. There's no backup access panels. Heck, we can't even get into some of those spots in there. Even with the access panels, they're like weirdly hollow, but you can't get in because of the way it's welded. They welded them hollow to save weight, a lot of them.
Yeah, the warp does strange things.
Okay, hope she's okay. It's the one who can't hear good, right?
Yes.
Yeah. She's nice. She actually sent a message for me once to, well, kind of blush. Anyway.
Well, let's hope we find her. You keep at it.
Keep listening. Okay. Kind of presses his ear, like, or they press their ear up and, yeah. So you head around, watch them press their ear, and you come to a, you head around and you have to go up and down and to get to this other one, but you get to, B. And you end up meeting up with, Nanette, actually. Oh, she wasn't in A. Or at least, or it couldn't hear her.
Right, that's what I gathered as far. Also,
She's not in A, and she's not in. Zeb didn't hear her either.
no.
Okay. And they kind of turn to this kid who's kind of on the heavy side. 16 maybe, kind of chubby, really bad acne, this curly red hair, and kind of turns, I didn't hear any weird knocking either. Just the thump, thump, thump. But that's just the sound it makes. I don't know if I'd be able to hear it, though. It's so narrow. But I didn't hear anything.
So not here then. There's one left, yes?
Yeah.
Well, she could still be in one. Maybe we're on the wrong track though.
Maybe. Yeah.
I'm gonna send. Phoenix got a comm, right?
Yes.
Yes.
I'll send him a message. Hey, you found that girl yet?
We're still looking. There's a
Go look for where my I sent a squad down and a servitor to where we pinged her. I tracked her comm, and it's at this location here. And I gave you coordinates.
Yeah, and you know those coordinates are her quarters. Actually, they're not too far from yours. Just up on the other side of the way that curves. It curves off at a weird angle. The ship kind of has a lot of those, but yeah.
I mean,
you say you pinged her. You say you pinged her comm?
Yeah.
Is it possible she just left her comm back in their quarters?
Oh, sure, that would be extremely likely, given this adventure. So it's quite possible that happened, but
it's worth checking. But
I mean, I've already got a crew. Lee, does any of the crew members I sent have comms on them?
I would say you probably would have sent them with a comm.
Right, so I'll contact them and say, "All right, guys, what's the status report?"
She's not here. The pinging is. Why would you leave your comm there? That is the dumbest place to leave your comm.
And where did she leave it?
on the other side on a shelf. From the other side of the... Like, under... She has a little dish, but it's under, like, 6... I don't even know. Her room is a hot mess.
Of course. All right. So, sorry, I tried. Sorry, Phoenix. It looks like she did forget to bring her comm with her.
Yeah.
In fact, according to the guys, it doesn't look like she's had her comm with her for a while.
Well, I've got one more spot left to check, and then I'm going to have to start thinking of some new ideas.
Mm-hmm.
But you're able to make contact with her, right?
Yeah.
Yes, she seems alive and well for the most part.
So she's not in a vacuum of space, so she's obviously in a place that has air.
And Gellerfield. Which is the main thing.
So we have some time, at the very least.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm sure this is all exciting and all, but I'll let you take care of that. I'm going back to monitoring the bridge. Good luck.
But yeah, as you kind of come around the thing, you get down and you see a young man, and he has this rather elaborate facial tattoos, and you also notice that he has a uniform shirt that he's conspicuously wearing open to show off scars on his chest. But yeah.
Is there anything from over here? Have you heard anything besides the regular engine noise?
There was a weird tapping noise, which is what we were listening for, right?
Yes.
It's a little muffled, and it stopped. But I heard it. I definitely heard it. It was past this access panel, I think, but that one, it comes to a couple. There's that, and then there's nothing in it. Like, I'll show you. Kind of pulls out what looks like a drill and removes the bolts from that hold this in, and they're kind of wonky looking actually, but you know, and sets it down, and there's a bit of power. It's like maybe less than half a meter tall and wide square, and well, just over square. You know that thing where it's like it's probably square, but it's just about. Anyway, and there's some power conduits running through, and nothing else. It was kind of through there, but kind of gestures.
Hey,
I mean, we could try from the top. There's another maintenance hatch up there, but it goes in, kinda, but we could try it.
and I just try contacting her one more time, just to...
Okay. Alright, sure. Roll the check.
That's a 91.
Oh, yeah, and if you're doing that unfettered, let me check something. There might be consequences for this. If
I'd be able to check, but I don't know that anything necessarily bad happens.
Yeah. It might only be on doubles. Let me just triple check that. But yeah, you cannot contact her. Though, Senescence test, I will say, can be rerolled if you want to try that.
I want to say it was specifically like last time that I failed one was the mind probe. And that
Yes.
one does have a clause specific to that ability that if I fail, I gain a level of fatigue. But
Right,
that's
that's using
that
psychic.
that power.
Um, +5 characteristic for each effective psi rating. So yeah, still at 90, but half the amount, unfettered. If it rolls doubles, manifest psychic phenomenon. Oh yeah, no, it's just oh, it automatically, if you push, it automatically manifests psychic phenomenon. So you're good on the psychic phenomenon, but it does not go through. Um, uh, but yes, you could try a senescence test if you wanted to.
Let's do that. See if we're even on the right track. Because
Sure.
maybe he just heard something else.
Maybe.
What is that? Oh, 30. Okay.
Yeah, that probably is. Yeah, Finnick is good, solid at that, right?
That's 2 degrees of success.
Oh yeah. So you
means.
you can feel her. You can kind of feel Craig on up on the other side of the ship. He's somewhere around doing something. Weird part of the ship for him to be in, but. And then you can feel rather. You can kind of feel in the bridge. There's some weird about like Farina and the navigators. They have a weird signature that's psychic E adjacent, and then you feel right in front of you. I should be right there, but it's getting wonky. Like you can kind of feel a faint psychic power, but whoever it is. Oh, and then there are the like 3 latent ones that you're like, huh, that's weird. But you've known there are latent psychers on the ship before. One of those things. But yeah, there's one right in front of her. You're pretty sure it's her, but right there. Just it's somewhere. It's like if you could reach through the panel, that's right about where it would be. Except there's no screws on that panel. So
It's welded shut.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
she
and it is
right
kind of weirdly faint.
directly in here. Can we open this? Can we access this particular spot?
Behind the. I mean, if you had a welding torch, you could, you could cut through it. Not a welding torch. I can never remember what they're called. He yells at me all the time for this. But the one that cuts metal. You could cut it
Cutting
through.
torch?
Yeah, that. But you'd be careful. You got to be careful with the power thing because that could go horribly wrong. But yeah, that's the only way you're going through that. You could try it from the. Wait, that connects to here. You'd be up, and then there's an access panel, and then it might be able to get in from there, but I don't think.
Now, Phoenix is aware that I had a group of soldiers with a servitor with them.
Fennec,
So
yes,
he knows,
and he is aware that.
So he knows that I had a person specifically for that kind of purpose, so he could request that.
Yeah, yeah. So yes, and you do know that servitors, you can get any engineering guys usually have cutting torches. Marco could probably find someone with a cutting torch. And yes, there are servitors with cutting torches, and they're around who do basic maintenance a lot of time. Anything that comes loose and can be fixed by someone with a little information, and then if it can't be, they bring in an expert or maybe a couple apprentices or someone to take a look at it.
Sure. Yeah.
But yeah, they do have cutting torches that allow them to, in case of trouble, probably cases just like this. They do often have cutting torches attached. So yeah, you could probably get a servitor up here to cut, or find someone with a cutting blade.
Okay. I'm gonna get on my microbead and ask Johan. Say, is your team still on standby? The ones you sent toward her quarters?
Yeah, they're investigating the room more thoroughly, looking for any clues.
I've got her. She's behind a panel that we need to have cut open.
Oh, okay. So I'll send my team down there, and they've got a couple guards with her too. So if
Yeah,
something wonky happens,
you
so
got firepower.
all right. So I will contact my team and let them know the location to go to.
Uh, copy that. We are on our way. I don't usually go to this part of the ship. All right, come on. I'll get the servitor there, and we'll be there in a bit. And sure enough, in a bit, you do find the servitor coming, and and while you're doing this, Marco will show you the upper part, and he's like, "Well, you cut down from there. It might be better access." Here, and they take off the panel, and there's more power couplings, but this is a bigger area. Because if you're going to cut through before, you would have to cut into a very small square space. This would probably give you a better, a bigger area to cut open, which might be more conducive to getting her out.
So, like, based on what we can see from this outer part,
Yeah.
would she be trapped, like, sideways? Like,
From what you can gather, probably it's probably a long, narrow, up and down one. Because they did weld the bulkhead. There's like pockets of just that are welded in together that were built when the ship was, because to save weight essentially. Yeah, so there are pockets like that, and this one is probably, based on positioning, you're thinking long and skinny. So it's probably trapped upright, but pressed in somehow.
okay. Well, then, hopefully, coming down from the top, we don't break loose a panel and have a red hot hunk of semi molten metal drop onto her head.
Oh, yeah, that's a possibility too, isn't it? Yeah, giving the GM ideas. Okay, but yes, so you climb up, and this panel's a little bigger. It's about 2 meter. You pull it off, and you get Marco to pull it off, and it's about 2 meters, and there's a lot of power couplings here. Also, an emergency, a big yellow box, which is something stashed here. Not sure what it does, but it is probably useful in some capacity. But yeah, it's meant to be accessed in cases of that. And so you get the panel up, and she's probably right below you, from what you can gather based on how geometry works. She's probably right below you somehow. And yes, the servitor does. Now Cobalt, one of your security guys, you've seen him before. You've been on planet with him before. Actually went to Rao with you, and he comes with the servitor. It's like, okay, I brought a backup. What do we need? Where?
We need to get into this small space right here, preferably without having it cave in. She could be directly inside this.
Like down below the floor here?
Yes, right here.
Okay. And not have the top fall in?
Right. You could probably cut two sides, and then if he can get clamps onto the piece, hold it while cutting the rest.
Okay, here we go. And yeah. Um. Uh. Um. The process begins, slowly and surely. And it takes a while actually, because but they do pull like three sides and then just rip. And Marco thinks to turn because several of the power cables do get damaged, but Marco thought to turn it off so no one gets electrocuted.
That's positive.
Yeah, but you pull down and you can kind of see this very narrow area, and at the bottom, flat and wedged in, there's someone lying flat. It is tall and skinny, but it's also only skinny in one direction. It's more like that, long and thin. So it's not that long. It's about several feet. So she's kind of like half passed out, like wedged in at a diagonal angle. Passed out. Does not look so good. Her face is definitely should not be that color. Yeah.
I don't think the ventilation in there is very good. We need to get her out.
All right. Marcos kind of. I can just let me. Yeah. Here. Hang on. Don't. We want to avoid. All right. Let me. Kind of pulls, yanks at her arm, and okay. Grab her head before.
Yep.
And you kind of get her out. The neck is kind of flopping, but you get her out, and you can kind of see like a flickering on the eyeball, like something's moving, and her legs are almost there. And as she comes up, you can kind of see the breathing comes erratically, and suddenly it was like very tiny, shallow, and then suddenly starts expanding as she gets into the air. And but she's definitely not responsive. But you yank her up and do get her out safely.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
She needs to get down to the
surgery. Yep. But yeah, you get her down. And at this point, it is late. And the other apprentices kind of have gathered around to, like, try to figure out, they've come down this way and they're all gathered around.
For the spectacle?
Yeah. Well, they're also worried. Like, especially Zeb. They're genuinely worried about, but yeah. You pull her out and get her down to medbay, and you all get experience, and she is safe. You save the day, and it is at this point pretty much morning. Certainly past midnight.
So this was hours.
Yeah, oh. This was quite because it takes like 15 minutes to get up and back, to organize all the apprentices, to get back up and tell you about it, you guys get down, that's another 15 minutes there. It adds up. This was this was hours. It's certainly afternoon. Well, actually, she went out. It was 15 minutes to get you. Let's see if I can't do this. And then it took you 10 minutes for that, and then another 15, get down there, at least a full 45 to get all of them organized. Another 15 to get you back up. Then it took 20 minutes between each one, so it took you another 3 minutes to get there, plus 20 minutes to get to the next one, plus another 40 minutes to get to the next one, plus it took them 30 minutes to get to you, and then another 15 to get you out. So altogether, that's 40, and then this is 60, and that's another 60. So that's 2 hours plus 40. So that's another this and that and that. It's another 60. So it took 3 hours and 40 minutes. Okay, so it only took 3 hours and 40 minutes for all of this to go down, roughly.
Okay. So after making sure that she gets to medical, then I'll probably head back to the bridge.
Yeah, just about lunchtime, actually, probably by the time, But yeah, you head back to the bridge, and the, Odette, you notice, is working with one of the tech priests trying to get the sensors to, they've been working on the sensors, and turning them inward, and doing scans. After scan, kind of looks up. Well, did you find her?
Yeah, we pulled her out of part of the engine.
Part of the engine, not directly from the plasma drives, right?
No, more like the cooling system.
Uh-huh. And she's alive, okay?
I think she should be fine. She wasn't looking good, but she got taken over to medical.
Okay, well, kind of just looks at the sensors. Fuck the Emperor. Alright, let's start the process over again. And Genre like, just kind of looks at her, like, we found her. Just undo it. And you can hear a lot of beeping in binary, and you'd think binary would be kind of, but you can tell the malice and annoyance in whatever this particular tech priest is saying. But they begin putting the whole thing back together. Basically, they disassembled and reassembled the sensor bays to try and check for biosigns. And had been scanning various on the internals, trying to get whatever they could pick up. And then they had to reconfigure the sensors to go back external. So yeah, there is a lot of complicated stuff going on, but that's good. Actually, well, yeah, this is good. So over the next few days, she does come around. She probably takes, let's see. There's probably, I will look up the consequences for strangulation, and she probably gets permanent damage from this, but is not dead. So there's that. In the meantime,
and a reprimand for fooling around the engines.
Well, Maverick Tollum and is extremely pissed, and also you and him and Janthine are furious at Janthine's more willing to forgive you, but this guy between her and Karina, they are two tech priests. They just are kind of mad at you, annoyed with you. That this whole thing, the cooling system got shut down. Power, Marco was not very, he was kind of careless when he took the power out, and they had to get called in to fix what he did. But given the circumstances,
that wasn't me.
Yeah, you pissed off a couple of the tech priests, but the captain has ruled that, given that Jezebel is, a valued member of the crew, rescuing her was top priority. So, yeah, you just got the tech priest annoyed with you. And the, okay, limbs blighted, blood loss deafened. Yes. Suffocation, here we go. Drowning, smoke inhalation, exposure to certain toxins, or being trapped in an area with no air. Characters actively, they can hold breath for a number of times equal to toughness bonus. Strenuous act, okay, yes. Levels of fatigue. Oh, yeah. Regardless of levels of fatigue. 1d10, damage each, oh, wow, okay. So, 1d10 damage each round. Okay, so, both okay. Yeah, so she would have gotten at least until 3 levels of critical. Yeah, I would say probably, yeah. Okay, God, that was a 1. All right. That's 7, 14, 19. How many wounds does she have? Okay. Yeah. Let's see. I'm gonna check on Janthine. In the meantime, yeah, you are. Okay, planets. Here we go. Jezebel, not Janthine. She's the engine seer, your tech people who's pissed at you. Harmon. Okay, so yes. In the meantime, things settle down. There's a lot of arguments between you and Janthine and the captain, but other than that, things go around. You have a few days if you wanted to do anything, mess with people, get into any sort of tussles or complications. And, Bank, fair enough. Fennec. Jezebel, here we go. Wounds are, oh, wow, okay, so that's 7 points of critical damage. 8 points of critical, damage, actually. Yeah, that is really lucky one of those was a 1. So she took 8 points of critical damage. And, yeah, so 1 point of critical damage per week. So she's out of it for at least 3 weeks. Okay, he also took 8 points, so, yeah. But he was down to 7 and 1 point per week. And then you got okay. She's not in a good way, but yes, so she is definitely going to take time to heal. But so you can't do any tricksy things with her psychic powers for that. But other than that, she's all right.
That's just fine. I have my own.
Cool. All right. So one of you needs to roll another D100 because, yeah.
You want to grab this one?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure, I'll get that.
I'm keeping an eye on time, just because I know it's getting late.
Roll something fun.
I did. I just rolled 100.
Oh,
Did you actually?
okay.
Yeah, I rolled 2 zeros.
Yep, that's 100. Okay. Roll 2D100s.
I rolled a 23 and a 7.
Oh, so close to. Oh. Okay. That's interesting. Good to know. All right. I think I got most of this one. So, a 20, so close. You're like usually one off from. No, anyway. All right. So, yes. You are asleep. And it's been wow. Okay. So about almost a whole week goes by, really. It's quiet. And oh, that actually makes perfect sense. Okay. It's quiet for about a week. And like 5 or 6 days, and nothing really crazy happens. Until it's about 3 in the morning on the 7th day of the week, and you're asleep, and you get woken up with someone in your ear saying, "Boom." And you wake up, and what do? What's your reaction?
Someone said, "Boo?"
Yeah.
In my ear?
Right in your ear.
I'll look around.
You turn and you look, and there's no one, and then there's, it's dark, unless you sleep with the light on.
I have a nightlight.
Okay, then you see a figure lying in the bed.
In my bed?
Yeah. Ghostly, pale. Definitely not like entirely proper. Like not a full flesh and blood person. He's lying there grinning.
Do I recognize it?
Oh yes, you do recognize her.
It's a her.
Okay. Yes. She's a little older than you remember. A couple more gray hairs, and she has a weird slash across her neck.
Okay, so who is it?
Her name. Let's see. I'm trying to dig up backstory stuff on Johan right now. She does have a name. Presumably has one. I'm trying to see if I wrote down any of the backstory you gave for Johan.
So it's the daughter of the
wife.
It's the wife?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that we have some sort of priest or guy.
Yeah, you have we have the chaplain. on board.
Yep.
You also
I'll
have
call the chaplain. Say, chaplain, I'm going to need your immediate presence here in my quarters.
and she kind of
I have
reaches
an
forward.
apparition.
Wait, Johan, and she.
Yep. It's rude to interrupt someone who's on the comms. You know that.
And you guys
Hold
laughing.
on, I'll get to you in just a second.
And she kind of puts her ghostly mouth right over yours, and
No, I'm not going to let her do that.
you kind of shove her back, and it's interesting. It's not quite solid, and it's not quite it's like plasma almost. Johan, you did the same to me, all the time. Hated to be interrupted.
No, not true. You didn't have anyone who would talk to you.
Oh, that's just rude.
That's why I talked to you.
My husband did. He'd come in and he never said anything, never really talks to me, but he'd come in to yell at me sometimes. Demand to know where I was, and I'd have to make up some lie, and, well, you'd be well, I suppose you never tried to kiss me. You were just doing other things.
Exactly. But I wasn't talking and interrupting.
Okay. You want me to try some other things? Kind of wiggles her eyebrows.
That was my domain, not yours. We all got to stick to the things we're good at. And Johan is stalling for time, obviously.
Yeah. And she just looks, oh, but I can do with my tongue, and I know the exact spot.
So, before we get to that, what's with the slash across your neck? I don't recall you having that when I left.
That, well, I passed off you as I'm sorry I ruined your reputation like that. I suppose he hated you either way. He would have killed you either way, so still regret lying about that. But afterward he caught me well, you were gone, and he you know how he is. I loved him once, and of course once you have someone's child, it's your best interest to be married if you can swing it. And I think he thought me too ugly, but I have my methods, and
You thought you were ugly? I mean, look at you. You're a beautiful shade of phosphorus.
She just laughs. Oh, Johan, you do know how to flatter a woman. Oh, but I met a very nice young man, one of his, some hired muscle, bodyguard, little consequence. But, we were in the closet. Not like, well, I mean, he was as well, but that's a whole other story. He was, he had his finger, well,
I don't need to know
would be a better term. Oh, but it was nice. And anyway, he walked in on us and stabbed us both. Well, I was bleeding out. He did some. Actually, she laughed. She was bleeding out, so that was the greatest thing anyone ever did. And then died of that.
But you don't seem to. You seem very lively for a dead person.
Well, I get to see you again.
Why me? Why not your guard?
The warp is weird. I wasn't trying to find you. I just sort of did.
Must be my lucky day. I am so glad you came to visit. Thank you.
Johann, don't play games. You're hiding something. I know you're not sincere in that.
Hiding something? I'm an open book.
Johann, you always said that, and
I'm an open coloring book. Just a couple. Grab yourself a crayon and.
I can paint you white. And she kind of wiggles her eyebrows. And just as she says this, the door, you can hear a knock at the door. Or a ping. I don't know if you've set up with a doorbell.
Oh, hold on a second. Table that thought. Come in.
And it is, one of the cleric, actually.
Cleric, meet her, meet cleric.
And he kind of sees and holds out an Aquila and be gone. And, it's funny. You can see the Aquila-shaped burn marks, on the pearlescent body. Holds up arm gets burned. Starts stumbling backward. Johann, make him stop. Johann, please, And then you kind of see, eventually, more and more start to, like, piecemeal, and, bits vanishing with smacks of the Aquila, and then, you only hear a voice, Johann, and is faded.
Well, that was unusual. Very nice for her to drop by, but normally I like to at least have a little notice.
Yeah.
So is she gone?
Yes. For now, yes.
For now?
Well, I don't know if her soul wasn't destroyed as such, that you know of. You're not sure if this works, how souls in the warp work. So, might have just gone back where souls go.
Okay, well, thank you for your service. I appreciate your quick and timely arrival.
But she was there. She was actually there.
Mm-hmm.
We've had a spate of false visitations.
Oh, well, I'm glad to have given you something more concrete to practice on.
Yes. You haven't experienced any hallucinations recently, have you?
Not that I know of.
There's that. Kind of leaves. And you notice that it's not the main chaplain. It's one of has a handful. The main chaplain has a handful of.
Acolyte, right?
Yes, apprentices or sub chaplains, and then they all have a series of apprentices. Mm-hmm. You don't particularly recognize this young man, but he was. You look at his garb; he's an apprentice. Someone who, like an altar server, kind of.
Sure.
Kind of nods and heads out, and it is 1 o'clock, and the thingamabob with the whatchamajig. Okay. How long can you stay?
This is where I've got to get going.
Yes. So right. Okay. But yes, we did that. So there are weird phenomena afoot. A lot of hallucinations going around.
All right.
The warp is a strange place.
Yes. In the meantime, you guys are have one more week, and then you.
Get to the planet.
Yes. And then who knows what happens in Koblik? There's probably political intrigue. There's always political intrigue in Koblik. It's a den of it. That's yes. But yes, you are going to arrive in Koblik. You will be able to procure donuts. You will be able to procure carapace armor. You will be able to procure a lot of things. Actually, if you're you have some funds. You okay.
Cool. All right.
Yes. Fedwife. All right. Yes. Thank you for playing. October we probably won't have a game just because we won't do one because there's Virtual Greyhawk Con and the special super secret fundraiser on the 14th, which is at this usual time spot that you all should come to because we're raising money for a good cause and we have people we prioritize putting people on the channel who you don't usually get a chance on the channel. So we've got Phantom NJ, we have Rachel who plays Mila on Blue Box if you know her. We have Twy, actually very good. Twilight, super cool guy. They're awesome. She's like a very good friend. We have Twy, we've got Phantom, we've got Rachel, and we have other possible guests to be announced. They said they'd let me know by the end of the month. So we possibly have other cool people. Maybe Kit. If we don't have anyone else, we'll have Kit. So that'll be fun. And, you know, cool people don't usually show up on the channel. Raising money for a good cause. And if we raise enough funds, well, Vincenzo will get something cool. So you should all raise really good funds for her.
Celiax.
Yes. Okay.
Take care. Thanks for having me.
Yes. Thanks for coming. All right. Okay,
well,
so yes.
For the game.
Yeah, thanks for everyone for watching. We've had a consistent at least 5 viewers so we've had a pretty consistent, and, you know, people commenting too. So I think we're getting more viewers. So that's good. That's pretty cool. Thank you for agreeing to come on. And, yeah. And I will see the rest of you, everyone, next week. There'll be tons of streams, and I will see you then. Alright, let us sign off. Let me put the, Discord. That? Really? Okay. If you feel like supporting me, and if you feel like supporting Zig, because he's cooler than I am, you can do that there. The Patreon, I would highly suggest. Also, he's really good at commissions. He did a picture of Finnick that's really good. I should show that, but I don't have it set up. So, all of that good stuff, and, you know, bits and subscriptions are really approved. I should have told you that you could have given the characters rerolls, also, with channel points also, but, let's see, Initiative Order. Initiative Order is playing, and they are friends of the channel. I haven't been to them at all. So we're going to raid them. They deserve it. RPGs, fun stuff. Stick around for the raid. Let's do it. Let's go. Yeah. Ooh, they have Animal Adventures. That sounds fun. Let's do it. Off we trot. Here we go. Take care of yourselves, everyone, and I will see you next week for random, you know, streams. Boop. Okay, now we go here. Make sure it goes... Oh, I don't have the dockable window. 2, 1. Alright, we're gonna assume it went through and go like that.